Hey folks, how you doing? Papa Joe here. I just finished my dinner. I had the pickled chicken, and we didn't make a lot of sides with it the other night, so I wound up opening up a can of corn and a can of green beans, so I spooned some of that in there. So I had that pickled chicken that was cooked on the grill on the George Foreman. A little bit of corn and green beans. Wish I had brought some ranch dressing with me. I wound up doing a little mayo for a dip. It is what it is. So, good stuff. It wasn't as good as the other night. It never is, you know. But good stuff. While I was eating, oh, excuse me. While I was eating, I was watching that film my son and granddaughter made on Scottish eggs. Go check that one out. Of course, you know, I am grandpa, so I think she's cute as a bug. And she's getting into that cooking. She's getting into making the videos too. She's a little ham. She kept saying, don't let 3-year-olds do it. You think maybe she has a couple of siblings? No. No, if they're less than 4 or 5, you don't want them to do it. No. It's cute. And actually, it looks pretty good. Now the boy's doing it right, because he had his grease too hot, and he went ahead and showed his oops. That's the way to do it. I mean, because they're learning. It was the first time that they had done it. So I appreciate you being honest about it, son, and showing that one that overcooked a little bit. It looked like it was still edible, but it did overcook. You live and learn, you know. He had his grease cranked up to 400 and got a little distracted, and it cooked too quick. I thought that was a little high when I was watching the video and he said that. So then he turned it back to 350, 375. 350 should be about right. So, of course, it depends upon a lot of situations. So 375, maybe. Especially if they're putting that sausage on there real thick. But yeah, good job, guys. Thank you for sharing it with us. I look forward to seeing a lot more. Y'all go check them out. I'm sitting down here at Willie's place. Man, it was rough getting through Dallas tonight. I'm heading down there to, what is it, Commerce, Texas, San Antonio area. So, got a single dropper down there. Unfortunately, it is a driver assist, so I'm going to wind up tailgating all of it. I was watching that dragon wagon come in. It's foggy as all get out down here. I hate fog. Only thing worse than fog is freezing fog. What is then, frog? But in all seriousness, I don't do fog well. That'll wear me out quick. On my way down, I passed a truck that only had headlights. Big truck. He had his 4-ways on. And he was going on down the road, almost doing the speed limit. In Texas, that means he was moving pretty good. So he was around, I don't know, 65 or so. I was running 70 and walked on around him pretty easy. I want to let some of y'all know that don't know, technically what he was doing is illegal. I know a lot of drivers have gotten by with it, but I also know some that have got popped. The way the law reads is that if you lose them lights and stuff, you can run with your 4-ways, to the first safe place to get off the highway. You're not supposed to continue and run 20, 50, 100 miles down the road to make your yard or your delivery. If they want you to make it to the yard, then you tell them, I'll be there in the morning. And you park up and you take off at daylight. And yes, I have done that. Something else that a friend of mine, he ain't doing real good on his health. He found out the hard way because he was traveling with his 4-ways on. It was back during my trade show days. He went through that southern scale on 75 in Georgia. Is that Tifton? No, I think there's one farther down there. I can't think the name of it. But he had lost his lights. We had a show down in Orlando, so it was all running towards Orlando. And they called him in. And the old boy told him, he says, if you hadn't had your 4-ways on, I wouldn't even noticed. I would have let you go. But he had the 4-ways on and brought attention to it. So being that they had done that, the DOT man had walked out there and talked to him. And his name's Mike. Mike, he had had a couple different heart surgeries, OCPD and high blood pressure, and he just had a whole mess of medicines. Well, he knew what all his pills were, so he just dumped them in a Ziploc baggie. And they were laying on his passenger seat. When he needed his meds, he just got out what he needed. Now, my wife has always made sure that not only is my scripts in the proper bottles, that I have the actual scripts that you get from Walmart. The receipt, the whole bit. She sends it all out here with me. That cop, he took pictures and measurements and documented every kind of pill that he had in that baggie. Even though he was telling old boy what it wasn't in a proper container. And he had to have his, now he didn't confiscate them. He probably got a count, but he didn't confiscate them. He left them with Michael, or with Mike. And he had to have his doctor describe them pills and write him an official letter on Dr. Letterhead and get it to that DOT man to keep from being charged. So just a couple little things there if you didn't already know. So don't be carrying someone else's meds around. Carry your own in the proper container, and I suggest have that little piece of paper. What else you gonna do with it, you know? Keep it around till your meds are gone, then you recycle back to the house if you're keeping it for taxes or something, you know? And don't just be running up and down the interstates with your 4-ways on. Now you do with that information as you see fit. But I'd passed him earlier and I decided then that I was going to let y'all know, but make sure y'all knew. Well, now I know that you know. Well, anyway, people watch this. I did that video this morning about that early Tuesday morning rant or whatever I called it. It seemed well received except with one person. That sounds like a troll. And I haven't bothered to even respond to them. Oh, if anybody wants to play with a troll, there's a troll on there. Go play with them, I don't care. I didn't delete their message or nothing, I left it up. Just in case somebody wants to play. I think my best bet is just to ignore it. Which I will. Got me a new windshield today. I was at the shop a little bit longer than I wanted to be, about 3 hours. So between that and the traffic jam, I ran my 14 out. I had less than 15 minutes on my 14 hour. Oh, you can't get much closer than that. I had actually planned on going to a rest area about 12 miles, 15 miles farther down the road, but as I drove by here, I caught the ramp and I started seeing some places I could turn into a parking spot. I said, yep, that's the one. I just heard my heater kick on back there. This morning, got up that 99 miles away, and it took me about an hour and 45 to get there. No big deal. I showed up an hour early, and they promptly put me in the dock, the one around back where I knew I'd go. And 38 minutes later from check-in to leaving. That place is notorious. It seemed like every time I've been there, it's 3 or 4 hours. I was tickled to death. Hell, I was leaving before my appointment time. Now, you can't get much gooder than that. So, I had to contact our shop manager. He had asked me to let him know when I was about an hour out. Where I emptied out was 73 miles. That's about an hour out. So, got over there, got a few things taken care of on the truck that they had been putting off while they waited on the windshield guy. And I have found out that on these Peterbilts, these windshields are glued in. And they had already told me this. And after you get a windshield, you got to set her out for an hour. So between them waiting on the windshield guy and having the hour to kill after the fact, that gave them plenty of time to take care of 2 or 3 things. Which one of them? Oh yeah. There's a little catch down there on the door. It keeps it from swinging too far wide. And top bolt had broke off. And they had put some Loctite and tightened that bottom one down a little bit. At that time I need to go. So today we had time and they drilled it out, did a tap thing or whatever, easy out thing. And they made the broken bolt go away and they put a good one in there. I've had a check engine light or engine warning thing going for a month or more, which they had already put the computer on it. So they knew what it was. It was some kind of a modulator sensor computer BS, which they had to order one of them. Took them 20 minutes, I think, to do it, but now I don't have to look at that check engine nonsense. I'd had something hanging underneath the truck, which turned out to be just a little beauty strip that they put up down there for some nonsense. They told me that shit always comes down. Best thing to do is reach out there and just grab it. And I said, look at the size of me. Look at that crack underneath that damn fairing. You reach under there and grab it. So after they left at my expense, that went away. Quick little grease job, all that stuff, you know, quick little check over on everything. Just under 3 hours. I was out there finding my trailer. So, which should have put me at a good time coming through Dallas. I was at Dallas 7 o'clock, 7:30. I should have just rocked on through there, but it's Dallas. Somebody had to be stupid and caused an accident right there by 75 and 610 split. Then everybody got to look for the blood and gore. So that cost me over a half hour. But overall, I ain't gonna complain. A half hour beats the hell out of an hour. You know. Oh, that's about the gist of it for my day. I think I'm fixing to go to bed. Grandma done went to bed, so now it's my turn. Somebody left a message on something on YouTube. Let's see what they had to say. Good morning, folks. Papa Joe here. I couldn't button up my shirt here. Especially for the Alright, it's on this morning's rant. Let's see, that one was 12 hours ago. This is it. He says, I agree with you that we don't have to accept the stupid BS, is what I'll say, that's going on in the world. That's a fact. I'm going to be making a video for tomorrow, and I'll be covering a little bit of some of the stupid stuff. So, alright folks, I'm going to leave you alone. Remember, God loves you and so do I. I'm going to play around a little bit and go to bed. Y'all have a good night.